Good evening, everybody, and this is Kristen with Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage, here bringing you another video blog. Do hope everybody had a great holiday season and a happy new year. Most people would be very surprised to know this, but we're still having a lot of homes coming off of the market. This isn't only an important thing for sellers to know, it's also something important for buyers to know. Because of that, I wrote a blog about 2 weeks ago about buyer brokerage, and I'd like to expand a little bit more on it because I've been seeing a lot of buyers come through with their own brokers, and unfortunately, they haven't been very comfortable asking their brokers questions. And I'm seeing the trickle-down effect in everything to how they're being shown homes, to how they're placing offers on homes. So let's first start with the most important thing, and that's communication. It goes into a few different aspects. The number one thing you need to have is a matter of comfort and trust with your realtor. I have had people come into me and they give me their list of wants and don't wants, and they look at MLS every night and they send me listings that they want to see all the time. And then I end up finding them a house because they just so happen to have bypassed it. They didn't think of it. But they were comfortable enough and they trusted me enough to say, you know what, Kristen thinks that it'll be a good fit. Let's go and take a look. And sometimes those houses end up being the ones that they end up purchasing. But you have to have that level of comfort, even when it comes to critiquing a house with things that you don't necessarily like. You have to be able to share this with your agent so that they can do their jobs well. I'm also finding that communication is lacking to the point where when people are interested in a home and they put in an offer, they end up getting not the response that they want from the sellers. And part of the reason can be, and I'm not saying it's always the reason, but it can be the fact that they're not reviewing the comparables before they place an offer on the home. Again, this sometimes will happen because they're not comfortable talking to their agent in that sort of depth, and they'll just say, well, I think the house is worth $300,000, when the house is really worth $350,000. When there's no comfort level there, they don't trust what their realtor is then telling them, that the market value of the house is higher. Then they put in their lower offer, but it never goes anywhere. And then they become agitated with the process. So communication is key for a lot of different reasons. When you're putting in an offer on a house, it is the biggest asset to have a buyer broker because they will pull the comparables. There are times when a house is overpriced and you do need to come in substantially lower than the list price because it's not the market value. But when there is a house that's on market value, you want to make sure that you don't insult the sellers. You can't always bring a seller back after you've offered them an extremely low price for their home. There are, of course, times when it's a different case. If you're offering all cash, it changes it a little bit. But you still want to pay attention to those comparables. Homes that are listed at market value will sell between 3 and 5% of their list price, if they're properly priced. So you want to have that kind of conversation with your realtor. Another important aspect to when you're using a buyer broker is you have to understand that sometimes we can make appointments and get you in, but you are always more than welcome to attend open houses. If you see a house that you like and you see that there's an open house, you're more than welcome to attend. You just need to give us a little bit of courtesy to the listing agents and the buying agents. If you plan on going out and seeing a list of homes on a Saturday or a Sunday, shoot your realtor over an email. This way they know the houses that you're going to see, and if there's any pertinent information you need to know about them before you go and see them, like if it's a short sale or if the home has CO issues, you know before you go in. The other thing is when you go into an open house and you're working with a buyer broker, you will still be asked to sign the New York State agency disclosure. Now, I find a lot of people say, I've never had to sign them. Well, any agent who properly keeps their records will ask you to sign an agency disclosure. You can sign an agency disclosure even when you're working with a buyer's broker, as long as you're signing it that you know that they're working on behalf of the seller. As long as that buyer box is not checked, and then next to your name, and this is what I do for my records and for courtesy to buyer brokers, is after they have signed their name, showing that they know I work for the sellers, I have them put an asterisk and put that they're working with buyer broker from so-and-so. This way it's documented right there. So if you come across that, you can sign for the seller. But you want to let the listing agent know that you do have an agent for them to contact. This is something that they should then put down on the guest registry. So any communications that go on go through your realtor. Hopefully you will meet a listing agent that is a very nice agent. I personally give the same amount of time to buyers that come in that have an agent to those that do not. But when an open house gets busy and there's 10 or 11 people, I have to focus on the people that don't have somebody looking out for them to go over the listing. Another big aspect to buyer brokerage is take the time and find somebody you're comfortable with. If you walk into an open house and the house doesn't work for you and the agent continues to call you, you're not obligated to go and look at other homes with them. What you should do out of courtesy, if you are choosing not to, is call them back, let them know. Take the time and interview some realtors, not necessarily through open houses, but by calling around to local real estate agents. Meet with them, talk to them. What do they offer? How do they help you through the process? And choose that way. You are going to pay for a buyer broker either way. And every end of a deal, there's a listing agent and there's a selling agent. So you're going to be paying the same amount of money. Buyer broker is a wonderful tool to use, and it's something you should take advantage of. I'm not going to write any more blogs about it for a few weeks, but if you are interested in finding out more about what a buyer broker offers for you, you can check out my latest blog. And I will see everybody soon for my next weekly blog that'll be up. Have a great day.